Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome back to the CBDC Assets Group. Thank you for being a part of the group. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell me what you think about this video in the comments below.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone. I'm Brad Garlinghouse. I'm the CEO of Ripple, and I am incredibly excited to welcome you to our 5th annual Ripple Swell Global and our 2nd virtual event. It really is an honor and frankly a privilege to have you with us today. I'm looking forward to 2 incredible days of presentations, fireside chats, panels, and more from leaders such as the CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, the chief economist at Allianz, Mohamed El-Arian, the CEO of Alliance for Innovation Regulation, Joanne Barefoot, as well as the former CFTC Commissioner, Brian Quintenz. We're also going to have customers and partners of Ripple's, including Asimo, Neum, People, Modular, and Tranglo. Each of them will be sharing their experience and insights working with Ripple and their experience working with RippleNet. The spirit of Swell is not one defined by being in person or being virtual, but rather the conversation of where we are and the conversation about what's possible. As the world moves at an increasingly fast pace to a crypto-enabled future. I want to take a step back first and look back to October 2017, our very first Swell in Toronto, Canada. The world looked vastly different at that time. The entire market cap of the crypto market was barely 200 billion. 4 years later, the world is accelerating towards digitization in many sectors, in large part because of the pandemic. Commerce is global from day one, and the value being sent across borders is growing by the trillions. The global economy has truly started to reawaken after the last year and a half. Concerns certainly remain globally about inflation, supply chain, and how climate change is already affecting communities and economies. Of course, it's also worth knowing that crypto's market cap has grown from that 200 billion to well over 3 trillion. And the world is paying very close attention to what's happening in this sector. Blockchain and crypto use cases like cross-border payments are firmly outside the sandbox stage. And more recently, things like NFTs have continued to push crypto into the mainstream consciousness. It's very clear to me that different blockchains have and will have different use cases. There are going to be a lot of winners at the end of the day. This is and will be a multi-chain world. We've also seen in the past year that not a day goes by that crypto isn't mentioned from regulators, business titans, thought leaders, and more. Governments globally are feeling the pressure to take a stance on crypto. We saw from El Salvador to China, governments are putting a stake in the ground on crypto on one end of the spectrum or the other. Large or small financial institutions and fintechs, including many of you, our customers, are determining their crypto and blockchain strategy for the long term, with growing awareness of how these technologies can solve pain points in multiple enterprise use cases. Tech giants are among the countless opining on the potential of these technologies on a daily basis. Yet despite all this attention and progress, much of the world still remains unbanked. The good news is that we're seeing more people enter the global economy through access to mobile wallets and crypto. I've said a couple times, and I will during this talk, a couple times about stepping back. There's little doubt about how far we have come, but I'm incredibly excited for the journey ahead. Using a benchmark I've used previously, I'd say we've only hit mile 2 of the marathon ahead. With that macro look back, I'd like to reflect on the theme we decided to focus on for this year's Swell. It's all about unlocking boundaries. We're here today because we believe in bridges between traditional financial systems and the new world of crypto-enabled systems, not boundaries. This is about expanding access to the global economy for all by interconnecting previously siloed systems and walled gardens. With that worldview in mind, I'd like to also share an update on Ripple's business. How's it been going for Team Ripple? Well, let me start off with some thoughts on the state of the network, what we call RippleNet. For years, we've been focused on building and deploying RippleNet to solve the many frictions with cross-border payments, especially remittances. Since the network has been live, we've processed millions of transactions worth many billions of dollars. In 2021 itself, we will process many millions of transactions, about 6 million, which is going to grow well over 100% from 2020. At Swell 2018, we announced on-demand liquidity, our first product, a service with RippleNet that allows customers to instantly move money around the world at any time, even weekends and holidays, without the need for pre-funded accounts or is often a cumbersome correspondent banking relationships that take days to settle. They're certainly costly and can be very error-prone. This is achieved through the power of XRP, the digital asset native to the XRP ledger, which is built into our technology stack. ODL certainly as a product had its best year ever. ODL customers today can now access over 20 countries around the world for their payment needs, including Japan, Mexico, the UAE, the Philippines, Australia, UK, and more. From a year ago, our ODL transactions across RippleNet have grown 25 times. And even compared to last quarter, it grew 130% quarter over quarter. ODL transactions now account for 25% of the total dollar volume across the network. What this shows is that more and more customers are getting comfortable with using digital assets, using XRP within their payment flows. All of this growth really is coming from outside of the United States. While our US ODL flows were essentially halted due to regulatory uncertainty at the beginning of the year, international ODL volume has really continued to surge. The explosive growth of ODL is a testament to the best-in-class product experience and the benefits our customers are seeing firsthand. ODL is thriving in jurisdictions where first and foremost there is that regulatory clarity we have sought here in the United States. In addition, though, these are countries that are embracing innovation and understand that crypto ultimately will be to the benefit of consumers, the benefit of those end users. Crypto is critical to creating a more inclusive, equitable, and efficient global financial system. Let me give you one example. A really good example, I think, is the UK, which has not only established a clear framework for crypto, but has an active innovation sandbox overseen by their national regulator, the FCA, and regularly interacts with industry for future regulation. That conversation is helping the UK be a leader in the market. We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. In fact, 3 out of 5 of our highest transacting customers in 2020 have now upgraded to ODL to leverage the benefits of XRP-powered payments for their business. It's been about a year now since we launched another product called Line of Credit. Line of Credit offers the ability to have delayed payment terms for our ODL customers. Now, this product came about by listening to our customers' pain points, listening to them around the limited access to working capital, the expense of working capital, as a huge barrier to growth and their ability to scale. If you look backwards, fintechs and payment service providers, PSPs, were creating bespoke credit arrangements with each partner in each destination market with more overhead and more management. Ripple's product Line of Credit solves this problem by providing upfront access to capital for every market through one simple credit arrangement, simplifying access to financial solutions that accelerate business performance and allow them to scale. We have multiple customers using Line of Credit today to access capital on demand. Not surprisingly, this is a rapidly growing new offering for our RippleNet customers. Stepping back again for a moment, I think we can all agree that crypto and blockchain really are more mainstream than have ever been the case. As the world grows more tokenized, RippleNet is also evolving to provide more than just crypto-enabled instant cross-border payments. It's about being the bridge between a growing world of tokenized assets and traditional enterprises that want to enter this space. This translates to the capabilities I just mentioned with ODL, Line of Credit, and our expansion into different types of payments, such as internal treasury management for customers. As these trends have continued to play out, one of the critical insights we have had here at Team Ripple is that a foundational element for tokenization and crypto broadly is liquidity. Everything starts with liquidity. Liquidity is the reason why all of this is possible. Crypto markets have exploded over the past couple of years, meaning there are levels of liquidity that can support value exchange on a more global scale. We've gone from millions of dollars of liquidity per day to billions of dollars of liquidity per day. And I have little doubt that will continue to grow by orders of magnitude in the years to come. It's worth noting that part of the reason why traditional financial systems were so inefficient, slow, and expensive is because the lack of liquidity for most currencies outside of the G20. Crypto really, in my judgment, has upended what we used to take for granted. And this is driving the core of our entire business within RippleNet and RippleX. On that note, given this opportunity, it only makes sense for Ripple to bring our expertise to the market and help other partners. I'm incredibly excited to announce today that Ripple is launching a new product called Liquidity Hub. While we are just in alpha product stage right now, this is where the enterprises can easily and efficiently source digital assets from the broader crypto market. We want to offer our customers this ability as they look to offer their end users the ability to buy, sell, hold digital assets at the best prices from a breadth of liquidity venues. The ability to tap into global liquidity pools through smart order routing at the best prices, all via RippleNet's trusted platform, we think will be a game changer for the industry. Ashish Burla, one of the key leaders on Team Ripple, our RippleNet general manager, is going to be sharing more in a special presentation about Liquidity Hub and the ins and outs of Liquidity Hub, so I won't steal too much of his thunder. Suffice it to say, this is a big step in the Ripple evolution to be the bridge between tokenized services and traditional enterprises. With all of that said, RippleNet is not the only business unit making waves at Team Ripple. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about what our other business unit, RippleX, has been up to as well. The same way that liquidity is at the core of RippleNet, it is also true for RippleX. RippleX is led by Monica Long as general manager, is expanding the use cases for tokenizing and moving assets globally by contributing code, building tools, programs, and services for developers to build on top of the XRP ledger. This allows businesses, consumers, institutions, and governments to fuel the engine of a new digital economy, providing access to a host of tokenized services like NFTs and CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. The XRP ledger is core to our business, and its inherent characteristics of speed, low cost, scalability, and very importantly, carbon neutrality and security make it perfect for movement of all value. The XRP ledger was the first blockchain to have a native decentralized exchange, also known as a DEX, natively built in, which allows for seamless transfer of value. Thousands of tokens, more than 5,000, have been launched on top of the XRP ledger since its inception. This is liquidity, plain and simple. RippleX is doubling down on incredible value and potential of the XRP ledger DEX, where it has meaningful and durable differentiation amongst other blockchains by helping build and foster new tokenization use cases. As part of this, and some of you already are probably aware, in September, the RippleX team launched a $250 million creator fund, what we call a creator fund. This provides technical, creative, and financial support for creators, brands, and marketplaces to explore new use cases for NFTs on the XRP ledger. Ripple has teamed up with NFT marketplaces and creative agencies that will integrate with the XRP ledger to deliver a seamless NFT experience for developers and help creators and brand clients create their NFTs. In my judgment, digital art is just the tip of the iceberg for NFTs. We see a world in which they support other use cases such as fractional ownership, carbon credits, property, novel experiences, real estate, and much more. CBDCs also have been a focus area for RippleX. Some of you have been paying close attention. Earlier this year, we launched our private CBDC solution, which leverages a private version of the public open source XRP ledger. Our CBDC solution ensures that central banks have greater control over issuance, management, privacy, and validation that they would get with public blockchains. In September, we announced a pilot project with the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan. We're very excited to get going on that. They're turning to blockchain as part of its strategy to enhance digital and cross-border payments, expand financial inclusion efforts that are already underway in their country, and extend its commitment to sustainability as the only carbon negative country in the world. Across both RippleNet and RippleX, we're leaning into the tokenization of everything. I think we took a pragmatic approach early on to work with financial institutions and to work with governments, not against them. Ripple has been building products for years that were first in market for enterprises to embrace and utilize crypto. We're doubling down on this trend because it's continuing to accelerate. I'm incredibly pleased with the progress we've made, despite the headwinds in the United States because of the United States regulatory dynamics. Our international growth on both the RippleNet and RippleX fronts have been extraordinary and by no means slowing down. Okay, so I've alluded to the regulatory headwinds here in the United States. I want to take a moment to address that kind of elephant in the room. Global regulation and the status of the lawsuit we're facing here in the United States from the SEC. So first of all, broadly speaking, I think blockchain and crypto are core infrastructure technologies of the future. We're seeing a lot of countries like Singapore, the UK of reference, Japan, Switzerland, and even the UAE, they are forging ahead and they are leaders in the regulatory clarity that innovation needs to thrive. Innovation is moving to these countries because the regulators have set clear rules and frameworks, as well as worked with the industry. As many of you know, Ripple has engaged with regulators globally from the earliest stages, and we will certainly continue to do so. I've been very encouraged by the level of attention and knowledge that global regulators and policymakers are putting on these important technologies. And we're looking forward to continuing to work productively with them to support innovation and making sure consumers are protected. Now, that said, sitting here in the United States, it's interesting the US really has been a laggard on the global stage for crypto regulation. If you followed this closely, I said when the SEC first sued Ripple that I think it's become increasingly obvious to the entire market that the SEC lawsuit impacts all of the crypto and fintech industry here in the United States, not just Ripple. Despite what some in the current US SEC claims, we do not have a clear framework for how consumers and businesses can utilize these technologies. Unfortunately, what we've seen so far is regulation by enforcement, where the industry players don't know what the rules of the road are and the SEC tries to clarify them through legal action. I think this is an attack on crypto innovation, and I firmly believe when the dust settles, Ripple will not only be on the right side of the law, but we will also be on the right side of history. It's been over 10 months now since the SEC sued Ripple, and our case is moving fairly quickly in the comparison with typical federal cases. We've won some important rulings, really calling to account and forcing the SEC to be more transparent about their policies and their deliberations and their internal rules. I think this clarity is good for the entire industry. I'm hopeful, despite the SEC's efforts to slow things down, that we'll keep the court case moving quickly and we can get closure and clarity for Ripple and for really all of the XRP community. I also want to take a moment to update you about Team Ripple. I am hugely proud of what this team has achieved in the past year, particularly given the headwinds of the US regulatory environment. We had our best hiring quarter ever in Q3. Our international offices have been growing leaps and bounds. We're lucky to have two incredible regional managing directors in Brooks Entwistle in Singapore, as well as Cindy Young in London join earlier this year. A key priority, which also has remained very top of mind for Ripple, is sustainability. Ripple has made a commitment to be carbon neutral by 2030 at the latest. We're ahead of schedule on that. We're part of a larger industry conversation and initiatives such as the Crypto Climate Accord, which is encouraging the entire crypto and blockchain industry to be carbon net zero by 2030. This truly does need to be an industry-wide effort to address sustainability in the crypto industry. We believe very much in that multi-chain future, and that's what we're building towards. We fundamentally believe crypto and fiat are complementary and not competitive. So in closing, as we kick off Ripple Swell 2021, I want to reiterate our vision. Our vision has been from the earliest days the Internet of Value, being able to move value as easily as information moves today. One of the co-founders of Ripple, Chris Larsen, coined this phrase nearly a decade ago, and for me, it still rings incredibly true. The internet democratized information, and crypto and blockchain will do the same with value. As I started out with at the beginning of this talk, the world is only becoming more crypto-enabled, and the conversations that we'll have over the next 2 days are leading the way to bringing that future to light. As I said at the beginning, I am honored to be here today with all of you as we work to enable this movement of value around the world. Thank you.